Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Saviors of Uldum cards have all been revealed, and it's time to theorycraft some decks and look at what various classes are able to do in the upcoming expansion. In this video, I'm going to take a look at Paladin. I'll take a look at the Paladin cards that have been revealed, I'll take a look at what might happen to existing Paladin archetypes, and I will take a look at what new Paladin archetypes Saviors of Uldum might bring about. I have to say that looking at Paladin overall, it's not looking very good. Paladin is getting some support for some sort of aggro Paladin. Brazen Zealot, 1 mana 2/1 whenever you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. This is actually a pretty powerful card. A very dangerous 1-drop. If there's no answer to it, it keeps growing, it hits face very fast. I actually like this card. But then there's Sandwasp Queen, 2 mana 3/1, Battlecry 2/2/1 Sandwasps to your hand, then there's Sulhead's Pride, 3 mana 3/1, Death Rattle, draw 2/1 health minions from your deck, and I don't like these at all. Overall this 1 health team just doesn't look very strong. So Brazen Zealot okay, but 1 health aggro Paladin, I have no faith in that whatsoever. Brazen Zealot does get another pair though, with Micro Mummy, a 2 mana 1/2 mech with Reborn. At the end of a turn, give another random friendly minion +1 attack. Because this Reborn, then that gives it a little bit more punch, it's a little bit more difficult to remove. It's a mech, but the traditional mech Paladin doesn't want it because they have Kangors and they don't want to resurrect this from Kangors. Okay, that might do something maybe. And the rest is kind of all over the place as well. We have stuff like Tip the Scales, 8 mana, summon 7 Murlocs from your deck. I was considering whether this would be possible to combine with some kind of Holy Rat build. Put in a bunch of Murlocs, Holy Rat, use this to thin the deck, but I don't know, seems unlikely. Then we have Pharaoh's Blessing, 6 mana, give a minion +4/+4, Divine Shield and Taunt. This is a bad buff card. This really isn't a good one. The only upside of this card is that it's a buff card that gives Taunt, and that can work with Immortal Prelate, but no other deck really wants this. Then there's the Ancestral Guardian, 4 mana 4/2, Lifesteal Reborn. Okay, it comes back, it can heal you, but the base health is very, very low. So, well, this one has some promise, but it's not a clear star player either. Then there's the Paladin Quest, making mummies. Quest, play 5 Reborn minions, reward Emperor Wraps, which makes 2/2 copies of your existing minions. And that's like, okay, you can get a lot of value if you have Death Rattles, if you have Reborns, but still, lots of value but very slow. Then we have Sir Finley of the Sands, the Highlander support card for Paladin, a 2 mana 2/3 Murloc with a Battlecry. If your deck has no duplicates, discover an upgraded hero power. Well, the Justicar upgraded hero powers are pretty good. Traditionally, Sir Finley, the original one that allowed you to change your hero power, Paladin wouldn't really want to do that because Paladin hero power is one of the better ones. But if you can switch it to an upgraded hero power, then you're suddenly interested. Anyway, the original Sir Finley was used in aggro decks in order to look for hero powers that allowed you to deal damage faster. So this is really an aggro deck tool, or Highlander aggro deck tool. Okay. And then there's Subdue, 2 mana, set a minion's attack and health to 1. That has some potential as a removal spell, because you don't always want to use Shrink Ray, you don't always want to use Equality. Subdue is for a non-control deck, it's for a mid-range deck, aggressive deck, that wants to get rid of an opponent's minion and still retain the board of their own. So there's something, but this set of cards just looks really weak. Overall, it really just looks like Paladin is not getting a whole lot. And Paladin wasn't even one of the top classes in Rise of Shadows, so things are looking rather dire for the class. Anyway, let's look at what we've got. So, we have Mech Paladin. Mech Paladin is currently the best performing Paladin archetype, and that is not a whole lot. It's still not great. And what does Mech Paladin gain from the new expansion? It cannot use the new mech because, well, it doesn't want to use a mech that's not good at from Kangors. So basically it might use Subdue for removal. I mean, that's possible, but it's not getting a whole lot. Then we have Holy Wrath Paladin. Holy Wrath Paladin it's kind of okay. It's more difficult to pilot than the Mech Paladin, but in the right hands it might even be slightly more effective. There are always niches where combo decks can prosper, and Holy Wrath Paladin is definitely a combo deck. But what does it gain from the new expansion? I would have to say that pretty much nothing, so it just continues as it was. And it's a combo deck. Whenever there are openings, whenever there's a slower meta, combo decks can strike, so Holy Wrath Paladin definitely has some niches available to it still. Then there's the Big Paladin. We're going more into sort of meme land. I was actually able to win slightly over half of my games the last time I played Big Paladin in Legend, so it wasn't that bad. It just isn't really strong either. It easily crumbles against aggro. And does it get something new from the expansion? Well, there is the Colossus of the Moon. 10 mana 10, 10 Divine Shield and Reborn. That's a pretty sweet one. Subdue could be a card Big Paladin could be interested in. Because Big Paladin also wants to maintain its own board of big minions. It's not really into Shrink Race, but Subdue might find a way into this deck. The problem is that the deck is pretty tight, because you have Kangor's Endless Army, so you really want to resurrect some of those mechs. 2 Bulldozers, 2 damage Stegotrons, Celiacs, those are all mechs, and those are all of the mechs in the deck. So you can't really afford to cut any of them. If you cut any of them, then Kangors becomes so much weaker. So then you're looking at cutting some spells, cutting Vargot, cutting Ysera, cutting Lightforge's Blessing, something like that in order to fit in some new pieces. It can probably be done, but does it even improve the deck that much? I'm not sure. Then we move on to more newer archetypes. I guess Immortal Prelate Paladin isn't actually new. It is an existing deck. It's a 30% win rate deck, which means that it's one of the worst decks in the entire game. And the new expansion would give it one card that would have to carry, and that card is Pharaoh's Blessing. Give minion +4/+4 Divine Shield and Taunt. The current Immortal Prelate builds do not give the Immortal Prelate itself Taunt. None of them do. And Pharaoh's Blessing can give Prelate Taunt, and then you can just get more and more Taunt Prelates. Is that enough to turn a 30% win rate deck into a viable deck? That's pretty harsh, especially when Prelate is so weak to being silenced or transformed. So I think this probably won't help. Then there is the Quest Paladin, getting that hero power to make those 2/2 copies. Bunch of Reborn stuff, bunch of Death Rattle stuff, run the quest. Make 2/2 copies of Reborn minions, of Death Rattle minions. Just keep staying on the board with those small tokens. The deck definitely has lots of value, so it's the type of deck that can challenge like Control Warrior, because you can just generate so many threats that the Control Warrior can't kill them all. But the damage comes in slowly. You don't have a big swing, you don't have tempo, you just have value. And if that's all what you have, then what about all the other matchups? Doesn't look too good for Quest Paladin either. Then we have the Aggro Paladin that is getting some support. This support is really sporadic though, there isn't that much of it. Zealot, Queen, Salhet's Bride, Micro Mummy. I mean, I take Zealot, I might take Micro Mummy. The others are bad, but these are not enough of a toolkit to build an Aggro Paladin with. So yeah, this is looking dire. After I was thinking about Aggro Paladin, I began to think about, okay, well, what about that Highlander? Because Sir Finley of the Sands, it's clearly an aggro deck card. So you'd want to play that in an aggro deck, Highlander aggro deck. And Zephyrus the Great. Zephyrus the Great is great at finding lethals. Hey, that sounds like a fit to aggro deck. So okay, can we put together a Highlander aggro deck for Paladin? It's not an easy task, but I think it might be doable. I went for this approach when I was theory crafting this, so I went for the secret package. It's just really difficult to find enough replacement cards for all the minions if I went for pure minion based deck. So if I go for secret package, I can go with Mysterious Blades, Commander Rissa, Bellringer Sentry, Masked Contender. Secret Keeper, Sunriver Spy. I can use a lot of pretty powerful cards, and while I can only have one copy of everything, having one copy of all the secrets means that I will have plenty of secrets in the deck. Actually, I'm not even sure if it needs 7 secrets, it might be able to do with 6 secrets. Obviously having just one redemption is a little bit awkward. But other than that, I think this is one of the more promising new things coming for Paladin, going for this sort of Highlander secret build, because the 2 Highlander synergy cards are powerful and they are most naturally suited for this type of archetype. Finally, there is the option to ditch all that Highlander nonsense and try to empower the Secret Paladin. Secret Paladin is like a 40-45% win rate deck at the moment. It has some nice stuff, but it cannot finish games. It just doesn't have enough oomph to get those wins, get over the finish line. And some of the new cards might give it an even more explosive start, so maybe then it could deal enough damage with stuff like Brazen Zealot, Temple Berserker, Micro Mummy. These might offer some potential. Reborns work great with Redemption. They kill your Reborn minion, it reborns, and then it comes back to life with the Reborn intact as well. So maybe there is something to this sort of idea about Secret Paladin. Overall, the Paladin set is one of the weakest in Saviors of Uldum, and the existing Paladin decks are also among the weakest ones. Holy Wrath Paladin, it's a combo deck, and it's a fairly solid combo deck. Whenever combo decks are good, you can expect Holy Wrath Paladin to be good. It clearly has some kind of a niche that it can still work with. And then maybe these Highlander synergies and some of these aggro things in a secret build. Perhaps it's possible to build a Paladin deck that's fast enough, even though that has not been possible up to now. But yeah, tough times ahead for Paladin. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.